Welcome in, everyone, to another edition of the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. Our Sunday show is usually our Habs-centric show. We try to split it up a bit and give you Habs fans something to get under your teeth in the weekend. Now, yesterday was a preseason game between the Habs and the Leafs. Most of you watching, I'm sure, watched the game, know what happened. We're going to get to that. We're not going to spend too long because we want this show to be as positive as it can be. Kind of hard right now, but we're going to try. We're going to try our best. We're going to get to our InstaCustoms Habs prospect of the week a little later on. And two more Habs prospects are standing out. We'll just keep it at that. Let's get started.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Recruits Draftcast.
With our first pick in the 2022 NHL Draft, les Canadiens de Montréal sont fiers de repêcher from the Slovakian national team and CheapestTshirts.ca, Juraj Slafkovsky.
The sickest NHL draft and scouting podcast. It's gonna be sick.
All right, producer Shane here, joined as always by the wonderful Grant McCagg. Grant, how are you doing today?
I can't even fake smile today.
No.
I'm not as... Went out for dinner last night, and we were going to, have a nice meal, watch the first period of the game at the restaurant, and then come home and... the meal, it's my favorite meal. I ordered it and it tasted bitter. It was fine, but I just, I'm in the middle of my meal when Reinbacher hops off, and then, next bite, I think it was Laine goes down, and you see the replay of that. It's scary. He looked like, I'd be very surprised if he's not out for the year, based on what his knee did there. It was really discouraging. And you just, after what happened with Doc last year, the start of the year, you have so much promise going into the season this year, and you're thinking, okay, they're finally going to have a top six, for the first time in 30 years, they're going to have a legitimate top six. And, the guy that you pick up, that career 35 goal scorer, exhibition game, it looks like he's gone for the year. I mean, I can't say that for sure, but I'll be surprised if he's not out for the entire season. So it's just, and then your top five pick, who's just, was going to make the big step and then next year make the Canadians. Well, if he's gone for the year, that could slow his development too. So very, very frustrated, very disappointed with what happened last night.
Mm-hmm. Right. The Reinbacher thing, I mean, that's a fluke. It's an accident. It's the way he fell.
Really... But he hurt his knee last year too, right?
Yeah.
And you just wonder if it's the same thing, and if it was never maybe... there was a slight tear there or something, or who knows, but I assume it's his knee too, but maybe not. All I know is that the way he was limping there, this does not look good for him either, but that's the one that I'm more hopeful about, that I think, maybe we'll get some good news and then he's not gone for the season. And because it would really, when you're that age and, such an important year of development, you really hope that he doesn't miss the year.
No, that's it. This is critical time for him, for his development, like you said. And look, we're hoping for the best. We don't have any news yet. That'll likely come tomorrow. But like you said, I mean, Laine's leg is not supposed to bend like that.
No.
And look, I'm not going to touch on the Leafs guy. I don't forget his name. I don't care. Okay. Look, Twitter at this time since yesterday has been a cesspool of trash Okay, the worst out of both fan bases has come out, and I just can't go on there right now. It's awful. I mean, people are attacking this player's family, right? Habs fans need to be better than that. Okay, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Right? I saw one guy wish Matthews tore his ACL. Come on, let's be better than that, right? Like if you're going online with a profile picture with someone with a Habs jersey, right? You're representing this fan base, and you make us look stupid. Be better, okay?
All right.
And I'm not going to address Leafs fans because I don't care. They can say whatever they want. They can defend the hit. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. I don't care, right? But I want to address Habs fans for a quick second. Be better. Be better, okay?
Yeah.
I'm
not. Yeah. I mean, I was emotional last night, and I put out a couple tweets that were emotionally based, but
you're not stepping over the line. Exactly.
Well, no, I mean the referees. I'm more angry with the ref, and with the Leafs even dressing him at this point in the, But even that, I get it. I mean, Jared Davidson was dressed too, so I mean, both teams had guys that weren't making the team, but at the time, in the heat of the moment, just I called the league and the Leafs a farce, and that's probably a little over the line, but I was, it just so frustrating, but I mean, knee on knee hits, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't think any player purposely just, I'm going to knee hit, because you can blow at your own knee, just as easily as the other guy. I don't think it's ever something that's completely intentional. So I'm not coming down hard on the player for that, I mean, he should have got a 5. He should have been
5 in a game immediately.
5 in a game.
That's
I mean,
a given, yeah.
If you hit a guy into the boards, but you didn't really mean it, and he's freaking hurt and he's out of the game, you get 5 in a game. So what's the
Right.
referees blew it. And
absolutely. Yeah.
And I'm, and I absolutely know why Arbor did what he did. He was, and when he was in the penalty box, and just, I was the same way. I was irate right then. He was,
yeah,
my emotions were coming out through Arbor Jackai, we all felt that way. So that could have been avoided. How do you not call a penalty on that?
No, that's egregious.
You have to. Even slap, like the emotion of the time, do you think he drops his glove with a no name like that? If that hadn't happened? No. Good he didn't get hurt. That would have just been icing on the cake, as far as the trifecta goes. But I didn't mind Slav fighting. I think that's, I don't take it, that was, what if he got hurt? Well, you can get hurt doing a lot of things. Slav is going to be a physical player. He's going to get in fights. He's got to learn how to fight. And the only way he's going to learn how to fight is to fight. So, I mean, he got that shot in the end, and he'll learn from that. You got to protect yourself a little better. He thought, when you saw him, he did the woo, like, I'm going to beat you up. Well, you still got to protect. You still have to, you're stronger than this guy, bigger than this guy, but you still have to protect yourself, and he'll learn from that. Arbor, I'm sure, too, will give him a few pointers on that, but Slav's going to fight. You can, like, even in I don't know if you saw that interview with him where, which would you prefer, fighting Arbor? And it was 2 or 3 things, and he said, "Oh, fighting Arbor," So I mean, he's got he's not afraid. He thinks that he's, that's going to be part of his game, and it is. So I didn't have any issue with Slav dropping the gloves last night. In fact, I was kind of proud of him. Especially with Arbor out there, isn't really a guy protector, and he's going to take it upon himself as time goes on to be one of the protectors on the team. Just another phase of his game, that his all around game, right? But I was more upset with the refs than anything, really. I called the Leafs a farce, and that's probably a little too much. Just heat of the moment, though, just angry, very frustrated. And of course, it's getting hundreds of likes, so I didn't take it down. I think I got about 1,000 likes for it. So there was a lot of people that felt the same way that I did. But anyway, it's done. I feel a little, I'm not quite as upset today, but certainly despondent about the injuries to the two guys.
Right. No, that's it. I hope Slav doesn't fight too often. But I like the fact that he's able to, right? He takes it upon himself. The initiative is appreciated. I think everyone can agree on that, but not too often,
Well, he's got to be out, you can't score from the penalty box, right? So
exactly. But no, I can completely concur with what you say. The refs blew it. That is the easiest call ever. It's a 5 in a game automatically. We've seen it time and time again, right? And the fact that they lost control of the game. The rest of the game was a shit show.
Yeah,
that's all we'll say about that. And we'll move on to more positive points, okay? Because we have our InstaCustoms Habs prospect of the week. And of course, we have to tell you about InstaCustoms, right? They bring us your Habs prospect of the week. They are the highest rated apparel print shop in all of Canada at 4.9 Google stars, specializing in direct-to-garment printing and embroidery, okay? They're located just minutes away from the Bell Center on Rue Stanley in Montreal. Please go visit their website at InstaCustoms.com. Now, there has been this debate about the center position with the Habs, and this debate stemmed from this one player, and that happens to be Oliver Kapanen. Now, you prepared some clips from his preseason game against the Flyers, and we'll take a look at that and tell us why he's the prospect of the week.
Yeah, well, I got clips from
both games. Yeah, sorry.
I think I got clips from the Leafs too, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, he wasn't as good against the Leafs as he was against the Flyers. But wow, what a debut!
He was excellent.
what an NHL debut for this youngster. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. I've been, for 2 years now, I've been saying this kid's the most underrated prospect on the team. He's the most underrated prospect in the organization. I just love him. But he showed good speed. He, I think what the part that maybe people really didn't know was just how good his hands are. He's there was his assist. But these are all, we had to keep these all under 6 seconds so that you two wouldn't slap us on the wrist for copyright infringement.
Wow.
But so they're all short, but every one of these, you see how smart he is. Yeah. But then also he spins away from, look at that pass. I love that tape. Pass to Hudson. Could almost replay this again. Everything's so quick. But you see how good he is at spinning away from checks, especially along the boards. Okay, here's the Leaf. I mean, against Philly, he had picked up 2 assists, won 57% of his draws, created 4 scoring chances, had 3 shots, and of course, your rating is 71. So that's just astounding. But even here against the Leafs, it was a different story. But again, the 5 or 6 clips there that I just showed just show you how his vision is fantastic. He sees the ice well. He's got really soft hands. Maybe even has surprised me a little bit at how impressive his hands look so far against NHLers. I didn't know that I was going to necessarily see that, but I have been seeing for 2 years the way, especially along the boards, the way he spins away. He's so effective at spinning away from the defender, and keeping the possession of the puck, making the right play. He always seems to make the right play. There was a couple of times, maybe a couple of turnovers against the Leafs. He only won 2 of his 13 draws against Toronto. No scoring chances created or shots on goal, and his Corsi was under 50. So it wasn't as good a performance against Toronto, but that first game, wow, that earned him a look right to the end of camp. And obviously with the Laine injury, there's another forward spot there, right? I don't know that he may not be one of the guys that's in the mix for the second line with Laine gone. You've got Newhook, who's not a great face-off man. He's about 40%. Kapanen is better face-off man, I think. So you put those two with whoever, if it's Joshua Waugh or whoever. So far, he's outplayed Josh Waugh.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes down to numbers, I think they may keep Kapanen and send Waugh down because they can. Send him down for more seasoning, and you've got that extra face-off option, right? So you play him on the second line with Newhook, and he takes situational face-offs, and maybe he centers the line, right? So with Doc and Doc's not great on face-offs. Newhook's not great on face-offs. So you get Kapanen in there that can take a lot of the draws and put those 3 together on the second line. It might be a possibility. I mean, the way he played in the first game, he was. I don't think you can argue he was their best forward.
Oh yeah.
Now, if he plays the next game and again impresses like he did, especially in the first game, I think they have to strongly consider keeping him for the start of the year at least. They can always send him back to Timrå. The injuries, Waugh can improve. Heineman's in the mix too. Those guys can get called up, and he can, if he struggles at some point, you send him back to Sweden. But why not start the year with him on the team? I think with Laine's injury, it's become a very distinct possibility that Kapanen ends up, because I think right now, like with Laine out, there's a hole in the second line, and he's shown and he's done it in the past too. He led the friggin' Liiga in playoff goals. Here,
let's show the goals. Actually, let's show the goals. We have them.
Yeah, sure. Like this
You
just
put
gives
it
you
in
an
the
idea of his. Well,
yeah,
he's got good offensive skills. In the second half last year, he was a point per game player, and only 3 guys in all of Liiga scored a point a game in the entire year, and that included playoffs. He was a point per game guy, so he can score. We already saw the setups, right? That he excellent playmaker, but he's also he can snipe. So the offensive skills are there to be a top 6 forward in the NHL. And right now there's an opening. Why not addition him there? I think that's the guy that you at this point has proven that, because he's got the defensive skills too. Like in Marty, I'm sure, as I figured, has been impressed by him away from the puck. So he's not going to hurt you out there against other teams' offensive lines defensively. And I think he's got more offensive upside than, well, at this point, Josh Anderson or Gallagher or Armia. You go down the list. You know what you got with those guys. They aren't reaching another level. This guy can. So I personally, I would keep him for the start of the year. I would audition him on the second line and see what he's got. He might take the ball and run with it and be a top 6 guy for the whole year. He's got the potential. He's got the all-around game. Doc and Newhook aren't great face-off guys. Well, Kapanen, between the three of them, they can, play to each of their strengths, and each of them can take the draws where they're best. And between the three, hopefully be close to 50% on draws. Otherwise, it might, they might be in the low 40s like Newhook and Doc have been for their entire careers up until now. So I would like to see him get a second line addition.
That's interesting. How good you have to be in that conversation. Your first training camp to have this debate. Okay, he could supplant Dvorak or Evans, right? Like he could make the team this year. He's been that good. So I think that Marty and the whole coaching staff in Kent, they have a good problem in their hands. They have an option here, which is I guess a positive. Yeah.
He played in the World Championships last spring after his great Liiga playoff. He was a top 2 center, and he was one of the leading scorers at the World Championships. So it's not like he hasn't had any experience playing high-level hockey and excelling. It just hadn't been at the NHL level. But it's not like this is a complete surprise. If you've been paying attention to him over the past year and saw his curve, upward improvement curve, this isn't a surprise to me at all.
Absolutely. So a well-deserved InstaCustoms Habs prospect of the week for Oliver Kapanen. Now, earlier in the show, I did mention that we were going to talk about 2 other Habs prospects because we kind of have to. We'll keep it rolling here. Still in the Liiga with Aatos Koivu, scored his first goal. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Nice one, too.
Oh,
Snipe.
The old man was a heck of a player, and he's not as good as his old man in pretty much every aspect, but shooting, I think he's a better shooter than Saku was. He can just, he can rifle it. So that it was nice to see him at his age to be playing in the Liiga and getting a decent amount of ice time and scoring a goal early on. So good for him. I hope, I hope he plays steadily in Liiga this year and contributes some offense, because his game has really improved as well in the past year. And if it keeps improving at the same pace, maybe we got another Oliver Kapanen finished prospect on our hands. So we'll see.
Can't have too many of those. That's awesome. When you're in the same draft class as Ivan Demidov and Michael Hage, you might get, pushed aside a little bit or overlooked. We're not going to do that with Aatos Koivu. He's going to be featured on this show many more times, but we had to give him his flowers because he scored his first Liiga goal. So props to you, Aatos. We'll be watching. And Grant, you watched Ivan Demidov's game today. You watched the game. You unfortunately didn't get to see him play a whole lot, but we'll get to that. We'll start with the positives here. And you found this tweet here by SKA Ice Hockey Club News. You see at the bottom there, they said Ivan Demidov has been our most lively player, coming really close on a number of occasions. So by all accounts, he played well, right? And he had an assist. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, in the second period. So I didn't see the first period, but I saw that tweet and a couple of people talked about it. So I watched the second period, and he made a really nice play there to set up their first goal. So up until that point in the game, from all accounts, he had been their best player. And so I'm thinking, maybe we're going to get another multi-point game out of him. But then he took a penalty, which I didn't think was a penalty. Do we have that? Okay, just going for the puck here.
Right.
You'll see it. It's in a little bit here. He's 91, obviously, and he made a couple of nice plays first here. Another good scoring chance. The puck comes out here.
Yeah, it's coming here.
Okay, it comes around one more time. Sorry, I didn't have another look. Right there. He's going for the puck, and the guy trips over a stick. It happens, right? But Kunlun scored on the power play, make it 4-1. And Mr. Rottenberg decides, oh, we got to punish the young lad for that. We're not going to give him another shift the rest of the game. Their second leading scorer. He's leading them in points per 60, like easily. Their leading scorer has 3.3 points per 60 games or 60 minutes. Demidov is right at 4 points per, so more than a half a point per 60 minutes. And didn't see the power play. They had a 6-on-4. He sat on the bench. I'm thinking, okay, so the rest of the second they're going to bench him, but he'll be out in the third. No, didn't see a shift in the third period. So ended up with 6 minutes of ice time. Assisted on their own, only goal in the first half of the game. He's averaging just a hair over 12 minutes a game, 10 games in, and he's their second leading scorer, which is, or at least he was until their last 2 or 3 goals. I don't know, maybe somebody passed him, but if he's not second, he's tied or is third on the team. And that, and that's playing a fourth line role today in the last couple of games. So Rottenberg just he's got it out for the young guys that aren't staying in Russia. Son of a Russian oligarch, his dad's best friends with Putin. The club. He didn't have any coaching experience, but he was the chairman of the hockey club, and he decides, well, I'm going to be the coach. Well, who's going to argue with him, right? Okay. So he's been the coach the last few years, but it just upsets me that, I don't know his definition of character. It, did that not show character, going for the puck and the guy tripping over it? Does that show bad character? SKA, who signed Voinov when he beat up his wife and got extradited out, left North America so he wouldn't go to jail? Who signed him? SKA, Rottenberg's team. Who just signed D'Angelo, who's not a great character guy? SKA. Who signed Galchenyuk after he threatened a police officer in North America last year and was probably facing jail time? SKA. Who signed the guy that makes a video of himself snorting lines and basically ruins his NHL career? Kuznetsov. Who signs him? SKA. It's like the upside down world when it comes to character with these guys. Oh, and slap a C on his sweater to start the year. How does that, reflect on the other players on the team? Demidov can't get out of there soon enough. At this point, I'm looking forward to April so that he can just, get his airplane ticket and get the hell out of Russia, get over here and start his NHL career, because I don't think this is going to be a fantastic development year for him. I don't think he's learning too much from Rottenberg, put it that way, and D'Angelo and Kuznetsov, and they win because they have more money than anybody else. They're run by oligarchs. They're Putin's team. They win despite Rottenberg. It's not because he's a good coach. It's because they've got they spend millions more rubles than anybody else because they've got the money and there's no salary cap, right? Where's Putin from? St. Petersburg. They're of St. Petersburg. They're run by Gazprom. They're, it's basically fixed. But so they have a guy that's is not a coach that's coaching him because nobody's going to tell him any differently. And he, any guy that has drafted high in the NHL and is on their last year, we saw it with Michkov last year. We saw it with Kuznetsov. He was third on their team in scoring the year before. Then it's his last year of his contract. He doesn't sign to stay in Russia. Oh, he sat out the first few games of the year. He got loaned away to the same team, Sochi, the same team that Michkov did, and Rottenberg go on and would tell anybody and any scout that would listen that how bad a character Michkov was. This is the guy that signs Voinov, brings over Galchenyuk, gets Kuznetsov, gets D'Angelo. Character? You want to talk about character? Really? Is Michkov worse character than those guys? He's a young kid that's been a superstar all his life. Yeah, he's got to do some growing up. And he would have done it last year with SK. But no. Because he was heading over he was going to leave Russia, Putin's beloved Russia. They're all like this, right? So he got punished. 2 years in a row, gets sent to Sochi. And now I think he was just waiting for the first. Here was his excuse to bench Demidov for putting his stick out to knock a puck away and a guy trips over. So he benches him for the rest of the game. It's ridiculous. He can't get out of there soon enough.
Grant, this was all of our fear when Demidov got drafted. We're like, okay, well, he's going to a team that's notoriously awful for development. But we're like, well, look, he should be probably one of, if not the best player on the team. And guess what? He is. He is. And it's still not enough. It's still not enough. I completely agree with you there. He needs to get out of there, but you know what? He's got a contract. He's got to honor that. But at least it's just for this 1 year, and then he's gone. But I don't get it. I really don't get it. How does that benefit you? You know what I mean? Your best player, you're benching him because he took a penalty that was it really a penalty? The puck is there. He's going for the puck. The guy happens to step over his stick. Whatever. We're not gonna piss off the KGB here. We're gonna stick to hockey, and we're gonna try to stick to hockey. But
I'm staying out of apartment buildings for the rest of this year. I'm not gonna be up in the 8th floor anywhere.
No, that's it. You're gonna get. You jumped out the window. Yeah. Anyways, we're getting too far here, but this is. This has not been a very positive show, Grant.
Well, after last night and then now watching this, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated right now.
I'm with you there.
Anyway, this has been therapeutic. Thank you very much for having me on
Absolutely.
To talk about all this.
And we hope it's been therapeutic for all of you watching. The comment section is open. All right, vent your feelings. We're all going through this right now. It's not great. But you know what? Better times are ahead. We're hoping to get good news this week regarding Reinbacher and Laine. We're expecting the worst, but we never know until we know. So
no, Oliver Kapanen. Oliver Kapanen.
Exactly. Until then, Oliver Kapanen.
Silver lining.
And Aatos Koivu and Demidov is even with 6 minutes of ice time, he's still performing. So there are some positives, and we try to highlight them here on the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave us a like, and don't miss our next show here. We record on Fridays and Sundays. Fridays is dedicated to the 2025 draft class, right? The prospects that are playing right now, the undrafted prospects. And then our Sunday shows you just saw is mostly focused on the Habs. So we enjoy doing it. We hope you enjoy watching. Grant, it's always been a pleasure. I am producer Shane. This is Grant McCagg. That's been another edition of the Recruits Draftcast. Until next time, have a good one, everyone. Take care.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, Recruits Draftcast on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.